Exploring the issues that matter most in Indiana. This is In Focus with Dan Spieler.
Good morning, I'm Dan Spieler. The conversation continues in Indiana, D.C., and nationwide. Amidst this coronavirus crisis and in the middle of an election year, the topic of equality, policing, and race remains at the forefront. And this week I spoke with both of Indiana's Republican senators. This has been quite a time in the life of our country. What have you learned from the situation involving George Floyd and the ensuing protests that we've seen?
Well, I've learned that so much of America has a heart, that they love their fellow human beings, that they were horrified as I was horrified when they saw that video of George Floyd. I learned that black, white, Asian, Latino, really so many Americans, a diverse group, is calling for change at the local level with respect to police forces and at the state and federal level so that we can deal with the issue of police interaction with our black American communities, but also more broadly with other issues. And that's something that I want to play a leadership role in helping to advance these concerns.
What actions do you support legislatively, and what's been your reaction and response to these calls to defund or in some way restructure police departments?
Yes, so I support a number of sort of reforms that Tim Scott, who is a black Republican senator who's taken a lead in the Republican conference, is putting forward. He's still working on the package, but we suspect it will include an emphasis on de-escalation tactic training for police forces so that when someone is excited, when someone does need to be contained, members of a police force are trained in how to properly de-escalate. I support making sure that all members of a police force have access to body cameras and keep those cameras on. I support transparency and accountability so that when there are bad actors, and most are good actors, but when there are bad actors, we root them out. We make sure they're not shopped around to another police force and start working for them. And lastly, we need to beef up our community relations efforts at so many different police forces. That may mean in some localities creating more substations located around a particular force. That may mean outsourcing some of the activities of a police force to social workers, to health care workers, and others. If that's what people mean by defund, that's a different sort of thing. But I understand many people who are calling for radical change, defunding of our police forces altogether. And that strikes me as a very dangerous, very bad idea, and the last thing that our black communities or any of our communities need at this point in our history.
Wanted to ask you about the president's tweets. Senator Romney called the president's tweet on the Buffalo protester shocking, but he's been more vocal than most in your party. Are you concerned that if more Republicans don't push back against this kind of messaging, that we'll see more tweets like this from the president? What impact might that have on your party this election year, but also on the efforts to try and unify our country right now?
So let's look at the underlying incident. To me, that was horrific again, where you shove an individual, especially at that age. He very well could have lost his life if he had hit his head wrong. Thank goodness he's recovering. So the underlying event was bad again. The president's reaction to it, there were many of us that probably thought that wasn't the place to tweet or to maybe make that point, because I think we're at a point in time where we've got to find out how we come together to heal that divide between law enforcement, which I said earlier does a great job, and the few bad apples that then set it back. So the tweeting, that's been part of his way of communicating. I think many us Republican senators as well would think that you ought to maybe measure those more so. And in this case, I didn't agree with that particular tweet.
Look, I ran for the United States Senate explicitly using these words, promising to do my darndest to represent all Hoosiers, regardless of their circumstances, regardless of what zip code they grew up in, or what geography they live in. And I am determined more now than I've ever been to do that. I want to bring people together. So it's not a time for finger pointing. It's a time to try and unify people, and that's what I'm focused on.
You don't have any reaction to the president's tweet?
It's not a time for finger pointing. It's a time for unifying. And I'm focused on what's within my control. That's not responding to tweets or other such measures. That's not why Hoosiers sent me to the United States Senate.
All right, this week we are also hearing from Indiana congressional representatives on both sides of the aisle on the issue of police reform and calls from some protesters to defund the police. But what would that mean exactly? Here's Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley.
It's a common phrase at protests across the country, and in some cities, defund the police is now emblazoned across major streets.
Do we spend a little less on police and more on social workers?
And Democrats aren't the only ones trying to figure out what the phrase means.
So defund, if it means we're going to give police departments and communities less money, I'm 100% opposed to that.
Indiana Republican Representative Greg Pence says it's time to empower first responders.
They need more support. They don't need less support.
But Indiana Democratic Representative Andre Carson says Republicans are exploiting the phrase's ambiguity.
This is an opportunity, unfortunately, for Republicans to try to paint Democrats as being anti-police. Democrats are not anti-police. We are for better policing.
Carson, who is also a former police officer, says better policing means more accountability and less militarization.
It also means allotting those funds to have caseworkers on site dealing with citizens as well.
On Monday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said any defunding decisions are left up to local communities, not the feds. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
Okay, also weighing in on the issue of defunding police, Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill, who's currently serving a 30-day suspension ahead of the Republican convention next week. We spoke Friday about that and about this recent column he wrote for Fox News on the issue of police defunding. This as Hill faces a challenge from 3 fellow Republicans for the GOP nomination, including former Congressman Todd Rokita.